Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com. The Kroger credit card, of all things, is about to become fairly interesting with the addition of 5% cash back on mobile wallet purchases. We are going to take a look at what is going on with the card, but first I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So the Kroger MasterCard is not a card that we ever talk about. I don't even know if I've ever mentioned it in any of the hundreds of videos that I've done on this channel because it's not a very interesting credit card, especially when you compare it to the other rewards credit cards out there on the market. However, that is about to change because, as reported first, at least as far as I know, by Doctor of Credit yesterday, there are going to be some changes to the Kroger MasterCard come November of 2021 that is going to make it a lot more interesting, including 5% cash back on mobile wallet purchases, and not just mobile wallet purchases at Kroger, but anywhere. However, there are still going to be some limitations. So let's take a look at exactly what is going on and talk about how this card might fit in, if it does fit in with the credit cards in your wallet. So coming up here in November of 2021, the Kroger MasterCard will look like this. No annual fee, 5% cash back on mobile wallet purchases, specifically Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, Garmin Pay, LG Pay, if anyone's using those kinds of pays. Actually, Kroger has its own pay, but you're not going to get 5% with Kroger Pay. You're only going to get 2% with Kroger Pay, as well as any other purchases that you make at Kroger with the card. So 5% on those mobile wallet purchases, 2% at Kroger, 1% everywhere else. Now, there is a cap on those mobile wallet purchases. While you can make those purchases anywhere and get the 5%, it's only on the first $3,000 of mobile wallet purchases per calendar year. After $3,000, you're only going to get 1% back. However, since the card is coming out in 2021 near the end, if you have the ability to spend over $3,000 with the mobile wallets, you could maximize your 5% in 2021 and then roll over into 2022 and have a whole nother year where you could do it again. Now, while this is a cashback card, you're not going to have the ability to actually get the cash back in your hands or into your bank account, at least as far as I can tell. Your redemption options are going to be starting at $10 of rewards earned. You could get a statement credit, which means that would lower your credit card bill, but you're not actually going to get the money in your hands. You could get what they call real-time rewards, which means if you have at least $10 saved up in rewards and you make a certain purchase, you could get a text message that says, hey, you've got $15 or whatever, and you just charged $25. You want to use that $15 against that purchase that you just made. It's essentially the same thing as a statement credit, but it sort of gives you a reminder to actually use the rewards you have. Now, if you have at least $25 in rewards, you also could get a $25 Kroger gift card as a potential reward as well. But again, it's almost the same thing because you are getting money that you can use against purchases that you are going to make versus getting money that is actually going to show up in your hands or in your bank account. Now, Kroger has a fuel rewards program that allows you to get some discounts on your gas purchases through Kroger when you have accumulated a certain number of points. Normally what that means is for every 100 points you've accumulated through grocery purchases or other purchases that you make at Kroger, every 100 points is going to give you 10 cents off per gallon of gas that you get from Kroger. However, if you have the new Kroger MasterCard, what you are going to get for the first year is an extra 25 cents off per gallon. So every time you have accumulated 100 points and you redeem it, you would actually get 35 cents off per gallon in that first year. So a little bonus in the fuel rewards program. After that first year, what they are going to do is if you have used the card for over $6,000 in purchases in the prior calendar year, you would continue to get that 25 cents extra, so 35 cents per gallon discount on your gas purchases at Kroger. If you don't spend $6,000, well, then you would get an extra 5 cents, so you would get 15 cents off per gallon every time you redeem those 100 points, assuming you are using that Kroger credit card to pay for your gas. Now, the information we have on the Kroger card changes right now are for people that are already card holders. So we don't know for sure what this offer is going to look like to potential new card holders come November. That said, as of now, the Kroger credit card does not offer a new card holder bonus. At least it doesn't online. It's possible you might get an offer through the mail, or maybe if you were in a Kroger store where there would be some potential bonus. But anyway, we don't know if there will be a new card holder bonus beyond beyond that fuel bonus that I just talked about. If there is a bonus, obviously that's better. If there's not a bonus, obviously that's worse. And finally, if you are a current Kroger credit card holder, most of the points that you have already earned or that you will earn through October are going to get paid out to you. If you have a few straggler points while the transition is happening, those will go into the new card reward structure, which actually will be good for you because the points are going to be worth more once you switch over. But for most people, you're probably not going to have many points that are going to go sort of from the old card to the new card because they're going to try to pay all of them out as much as possible. So looking at this card overall, obviously the 5% on the mobile wallet purchases is pretty nice. Otherwise, it's okay. 2% on Kroger purchases is fine, but there are other credit cards on the market that would give you more than 2% on your grocery store purchases, and for a Kroger card, you would hope they would be more competitive than other cards out there in terms of the reward that you get at Kroger. 1% on everything else, obviously that is just sort of the baseline that all credit cards use for sort of the everything else category. Now you do have those extra fuel rewards in the first year, but you don't have a new cardholder bonus, or at least not as far as we know at this point. So if I'm looking at this card, even though that 5% is attractive on those mobile wallet purchases, if there are other cards on the market that have an upfront bonus where I could maybe snag $150, which is the same as 5% on $3,000 worth of purchases, and do it for less of a spend and get points on those purchases themselves on top of the bonus, well then maybe I would prioritize that kind of card first. So that's always something to think about. Sometimes if you see the everyday rewards, those kind of, take the spotlight and you forget that there may not be a bonus there to make the card better, where you could get a different card that has a bonus, and even though it doesn't look as good maybe from the everyday rewards, maybe that would be the card to prioritize over a card that has the flashy 5% on $3,000. For example, this card issued by US Bank. Now, US Bank has some other good reward cards out there. Looking at the US Bank Altitude Go, for example, a no annual fee card that has a potential bonus of 20,000 points, which also equals $200 if you spend $1,000 with the card in the first few months. At least that's the bonus as I make this video. And then it's got 4 points per dollar on your dining purchases, 2 points per dollar on groceries, which equals 2%, which is the same as what is on the Kroger card, but also 2% on gas, 2% on streaming. It has a modest streaming credit as well each year. So if you really looked at those two cards against each other, both from the same issuer, well, maybe it would make more sense to get that Altitude Go card before you would go for the Kroger MasterCard, because you're going to get that nice bonus, and if the Kroger card's not offering the bonus, well, then you might be better off starting there. Now then the next question comes into play. Well, sure, I could just get both cards, right? That's up to you. How many cards are you going to get? How often can you get cards? What's your credit score that's going to allow you to get multiple cards at the same time? How many cards do you want to carry? All of those things come into play. But if we're just looking at one versus the other, maybe you prioritize the card that's going to give you a bonus over the card that has sort of the flashy 5% on those $3,000 worth of purchases. So bottom line, obviously an improvement to the existing Kroger credit card, and if you have that card, well then you will be happy because it's going to get better. If you don't have the card already and you're looking at it, when that new offer comes out to new card holders, we'll see if there is a bonus attached to it. If there is a bonus attached to it, well then I could see jumping on it. If there's not a bonus, well then you have to think about all those things I just talked about. Are there other cards that you should go for before this card, or can you get multiple cards all at one time? All of that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see what happens when November comes if we've got a bonus attached. I would love to hear your thoughts in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. And as always, please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews and we talk personal finance and we talk deals and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.